Howdy, hi. This is Do Your Job Sports College Basketball Picks and Predictions for Monday, November 17th, 2025. We're looking at the best bets of the day. Let's get into the video. Alright, first things first, got to recap previous day's results. We had a very solid day, going 5-1, bringing our season record to 57 wins and 37 losses. Since we lost one game, we add $3 to the giveaway fund. That brings that total up to 114. That giveaway will be this coming Friday in the Discord. So if you are not in the Discord already, the link is in the description below. All you got to do to join, be 21 plus, and have Discord. I think that requires an email and a phone number, and that's it. Nobody gets added to or taken off of the ban list. Let's get into this recap, and then we'll go to the games we got for tomorrow. Game number 1, best bet. We finally hit one. App State minus 1.5 on the road at Dartmouth. Dartmouth and the entirety of the Ivy League are all very bad. App State shoots 52% from the field, 30% from deep. They win the rebound battle by 8. They win the turnover battle by 3. They score 85 points. That's one way to do it. Dartmouth, 43% from the field, 45% from deep. Kind of impressive, shooting better 3-point than 2-point percentage. 73% from the free throw line. This team's not very good. Dartmouth's next game against a school called Moose on Tuesday, and then they have 11 days off until they play St. Peter's. I will be betting St. Peter's on November 29th. Then we'd Wake Forest minus 28.5 and the over 163.5. This bet did not look good at halftime. Halftime score 48-38. And then Wake Forest came out and just dumped a hot load of gravy right on UMass Lowell's head. Final score, Wake Forest 109, UMass Lowell 75. Wake wins the second half 61-37, 56% from the field, 43% from deep, 20 of 24 from the free throw line. They win the rebound battle. They win the turnover battle. They win the game by 34. Thank you, Wake Forest. You had me concerned there in the first half, laying 28.5, and you were only up 10, but you got it done. Next game, South Dakota minus 4.5. For the longest time, I thought Maine and South Dakota would flip spots, so I thought we were going to go 5-1 the entire day. Just not the teams in the way it happened. South Dakota, they were down basically the entire game. They had a 2-point halftime lead, but that was like a late first half comeback. They were down, 6 points with 4 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game. Western Michigan did not score a single point in those final 4 minutes and 32 seconds. South Dakota ends the game on an 11-0 run. They win 83-78. We cover this bet by the hook. This had no business of hitting. South Dakota couldn't shoot the ball. 42% from the field, 35% from deep, 64% from the free throw line. Western Michigan, 53% from the field. They won the rebound battle by 14. They lost the turnover battle by 12. South Dakota just couldn't put the ball in the hoop, and they still cover the number. So shout out to the Coyotes. Final bet, Colorado State minus 5.5 on the road at Loyola Chicago. I watched a majority of this game. Loyola is so bad at basketball. They don't have anyone who can shoot. It says they went 47%. I'm pretty sure that's when all the Colorado State players left the court and the bench players come on, and that's where they made all their shots. Loyola had 21 points at halftime. 21. This is a proud program. Loyola went to the Elite Eight 6-7 years ago? They have dudes on this team, but just none of these dudes can shoot. 80-67, Colorado State wins. Really never a sweat. All right, then our only loser on the day. This one I actually thought looked really good at halftime, which is why I wanted to flip-flop this in South Dakota. It was Maine plus 2.5. They lose outright 70-64 at home, falling to 0-4 on the year. They had an 8-point halftime lead. Then in the second half of this game, they turned the ball over way too many times, couldn't hit water from a boat, and fouled Quinnipiac a bajillion times. So we were no good here. Maine shot 39% from the field, 29% from deep, 67% from the free throw line, and they lost the turnover battle and the offensive rebound battle by a combined 8. Quinnipiac, they actually shot the ball worse, 36% from the field, 17% from deep, 68% from the free throw line. They just got more free throw attempts up, got more shot attempts up. Therefore, they won the game by 6. So that is how we go 5-1. Let's get on to the picks for tomorrow. All right, so first game, we do not have a number on. Unfortunately, with football going on, NBA going on, college basketball, there's a lot for Vegas to be doing in terms of actually making lines. So we only have 2 out of my 5 picks have set lines. But I already typed all this up. I am confident in the teams that I am picking, so I will back them with whatever the number opens at or what I get it at. I will post it in the Discord and what it actually opens versus what I get it at. Hopefully, well, there's some good numbers. So let's get into it. Game 1, give me Lamar on the spread at ULM. I think ULM is awful. I watched the entire Lamar versus TCU game earlier last week. They're going to be a really good team. They have size. They're good on defense. The only thing they struggled with was the straight up fact that TCU has absolute dudes on their team. ULM does not have that. I think Lamar can win this game by 10 plus quite easily. Lamar 1-1 on the year. They beat a Division II school by 40. Then they lost to TCU on the road 78-65. They returned 3 starters from last year's team, bring in a junior transfer guard, and then they promote a dude from their bench. So there's a lot of continuity in this roster. They got serious size down low. They shoot at 48% from the field. They're a good team. ULM, they are the opposite of a good team. 1-3. They return their interim head coach from last year's team, who was absolutely horrible at basketball. Their only win this year was against a Division III school by 33. They then lost to Northern Illinois by 20. That's one of the worst schools in the MAC. Ole Miss by 20. That's honestly not that bad of a loss. And then Houston Christian by 11. That's not ideal. They start not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 underclassmen. 2 of them aren't even from America. They're from Russia and Latvia. So there's got to be some goddamn language barriers going on here. There is no chance anyone with a sound frame of mind would put money on ULM. They are horrible. Next game. This is one I actually found a line for. Prairie View, Missouri. I'm going to rock the over, 165.5. Prairie View, they're a SWAC school. They historically play absolutely zero defense. Missouri, coming off of a game where they shot 60% from the field and 50% from deep. And that was against a Power 4 conference opponent in Minnesota. I am going to ladder this over all the way up to the high 170s, probably low 180s. Prairie View A&M, 2-2 on the year. That's a fraudulent 2-2, though. They've played 2 Division II schools, beating them by a lot. And they lost to Wichita State, 105-62, and Oklahoma State, 94-67. This is their 3rd road game in a row. I'm not really sure if any of these guys are going to want out here and play solid defense. They play quick. They should be able to get around 70 points. It's kind of where they've been around with their first 2 Division I teams. They're going to play typical SWAC kind of ball. It's a lot of isolation offense. One guy get the ball, everyone else spread out. You drive to the hole. You try to get the layup. If not, you kick it out. And that's how they play ball. Missouri, 4-0 on the year. They've scored a minimum of 83 points in every single game. Veteran team. They shoot it very well from the field. I like Dennis Gates as a coach. On the season, they're 58% from the field, 44% from deep. This is also probably the weakest defense they have played. So I'm only expecting those numbers to go up for this game. Home crowd. It's a Monday night. Students will be there. One of the last games before they get to leave, go home for Thanksgiving break. And you probably get to go see the team win by 30 plus. So I will take the over 165.5. All right, next game we got, it is Colgate on the road at Siena. I'm going to take Colgate, whatever they open at on the spread. This will be my favorite bet of the day. This is a culture play. Colgate's 1-3 to start the season. They are a much better program than their 1-3 record. Siena's 2-1. I think that is going to be baked into this line. Based on me typing this into Google, trying to find out different sites that have the lines, apparently Google AI thinks Colgate will open as a plus 7.5 dog. If they open plus 7.5, I will be putting everything I own on Colgate. Colgate, they're 1-3 to start the year. Their losses by 11 points at Michigan State, 19 points at Illinois, and then Northeastern by 3. So you have two of the best teams in the Big Ten, both by less than 20. One of them was almost single digits. Then a very good Northeastern team by 3. Their win was Drexel by 7. They return 2 starters from last year's lineup. They promote a dude from the bench. They bring in a guy from Green Bay. Then they start a true freshman in the front court, 6'9", 250-pounder. Big dude. Big dude. This is just a culture play. Colgate has been one of the premier teams in the Patriot League for a long time. They are good and better than Siena. Siena is 2-1. Their wins are against Bryant and Brown. Brown's one of the worst teams in the Ivy. Bryant's one of the worst teams in the country. Their loss was to the Bonnies by 9 points. If the Bonnies played Colgate, I would make Colgate -3. So if you're telling me Colgate is a dog to Siena, again, Google AI could be totally wrong, but I saw that number pop up. I will be depositing everything I own if that number is accurate. Siena, they return 3 guys from last year's team. They bring in a JUCO senior and a transfer from Cal Baptist. Really still don't know if this bunch is good. Their previous game they lost. I will fade them. Give me Colgate. This will be my favorite bet of the day. Next game we got, another game with no line. This is also another culture play. It's Canisius at High Point. High Point is coming back home after a horrible 17-point road loss to UAB. Canisius, relatively solid team, but when they hit the road, they lose the ability to put ball in hoop. High Point back home, they should destroy them. The Golden Griffs, they are 2-2 on the year. Home wins over a Division II school by 30, and then they beat Mercyhurst 58-55. So even in their own home court, they are offensively challenged. Their losses, they were on the road to Dayton by 40. I think High Point and Dayton are similar teams. And then St. Bonaventure by 19. Why did the Bonnies come up so much in my slides? I don't know. This team, they cannot score. They have yet to score over 70 points against a Division I opponent. They shoot 44% from the field, 33% from deep, and those statistics are with the Division II schools in those. So if you were to take out those two D2 games, they're shooting 36% from the field. They also turn it over 15 times a game. High Point, I just mentioned, they just took their first loss of the season. God damn, it was ugly. Their wins, however, are actually quite nice. They beat Furman by 26, Jacksonville by 21, and they're really hard to beat at home. They return 1 starter from last year's team. Then they paid a bunch of money for some transfers. They brought in a guy from Xavier, 1 guy from Liberty, Southeastern Missouri's best player, and then a couple JUCO guys, actually. They got size at the guard spot. They do lack a bit of size down low. Not too concerned, though, because it's Canisius. Give me High Point, whatever the spread is. I'd imagine this opens High Point like minus 18.5, maybe more. Whatever it is, I will lay it. All right, final game. This one we actually have a line for is Kansas State minus 13.5. I will also take the over 164.5. I'm going to fade Tulsa after a road win at a crosstown rival in Oral Roberts. Kansas State, they've looked really solid the first few games of the year, coming off of an ACC win at home, one of the most efficient teams in the country. Tulsa's 3-0, semi-fraudulent 3-0. They beat ORU 88-87. Their other wins, 43 points to a Division II school, and then 17 points at home to Rhode Island. This is by far their toughest opponent. This is the toughest environment they have played in. They only returned 1 starter from last year's team. They bring in a bunch of low major guys, and then 1 dude from JUCO. They lack massive size in the backcourt. That is not something you want to have happen when going against a Big 12 school. K-State also 3-0. They beat UNC Greensboro by 29, Bellarmine by 27, and then Cal by 3. But the majority of that Cal game, they were absolutely killing them. Then they just forgot how to play basketball in the second half. They have a really good roster, another transfer team. They shoot 59% from the field, 54% from deep. I do not think that is going to continue, but against Tulsa, I think you can keep those numbers relatively close. Give me Kansas State winning this game 96-78. All right, almost bets. Of course, all of these games have lines because it really is just most of the games I wanted to bet don't have lines out currently, which is kind of absurd. But here we are. First one, Georgia at home to Florida A&M. Georgia has been laying absolute belt to ass against every team they've played, minus Georgia Tech, so I will take them. Charleston versus Drake. This Drake program is not good. This is their third different head coach in 3 years. It's going to take a while to figure it out. Give me Charleston. That's a culture play. And then LMU, plus 3.5 on the road at UC Santa Barbara. I like LMU. This Santa Barbara team loses a decent amount from last year. I don't think they're very good. I will take LMU plus 3.5. All right, that's going to do it for me in this video. Let me real quick double check to make sure the lines have not updated.